Is it wet?
Always wet.
Good morning, everybody. It's wet.
Because it's wet. Some people like you,
Yes.
they leave it wet. Half wet, half dry. I can't deal.
You don't do the half wet, half dry. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome back to OK Aussie. It is
Welcome
Tuesday
back
morning,
to
bright and
OK
early.
Aussie.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Hot chocolate for me. Hot coffee for the missus. Ching, ching.
This dude needs to learn to drink coffee.
I'm quite content.
Tell him.
I'm quite content. Thank you very much.
Comments.
What a beautiful
Drink coffee.
morning it is. Cracking
Look at the
open.
sunset.
Sunset behind you, sunrise in front of you. Take it as it may.
So basically, yeah, these are my new lights from Shein. Very cheap.
From Shein, of
Didn't
course.
spend much at all. Very proud of myself for that.
Good on you.
I'm Scrooge. I have to be.
Scrooge McDuck.
There is no choice.
I used to love that comic, Scrooge McDuck.
Yes.
Yep.
Although I didn't like Scrooge the Duck.
No, but it's not.
Rather rude.
It was quite funny actually.
But
Little
he
Scrooge
was
cartoon.
funny though, wasn't he? He was funny.
If you had a favourite cartoon as a kid growing up too, do
So
let us
if
know
you
in the
want
comments.
These lights
Remember
in your...
Marine Boy?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I mean Kimber the White Lion.
Oh,
That was a favourite.
Oh,
Just saying.
My heart was just, I felt like that was my spirit animal.
Yes. Yep.
Did you feel
Yep.
the same?
Yep. Very
Must have
relatable.
been an autistic thing.
Hmm.
That cartoon must have been written by an autistic.
Well, I've just shown the peeps outside the beautiful sunrises that's coming across the hills. Your lovely outdoor area.
Did
The
you
ivy,
see
not
my
ivory.
new-
The ivy.
I get it mixed
It's one
up.
of those. It's nice, isn't
That
it?
table, when I saw it's $29 at IKEA. When I saw it,
That's what the
I
mental
went,
partner
it's
goes
mine.
across. It's yours.
Even though I can't
They want
really
one.
afford it in my budget right now because I'm a very budget person, so I don't have categories and I don't overspend in each category. But I said, this is a dream.
Yeah.
This is a
Well, we
dream.
made the dream come true, didn't we?
And now the dream's come true.
Mhm.
So I can sit there and pretend that I'm back in Europe and just be like, oh, this is beautiful. But I just need to buy some like, I don't know, some beers. You know, the boutique beers.
Right.
I need to buy, what do you call them, like some ciders.
Some cider, apple
I'm
ciders.
doing Oktoberfest. Who's in? Anyone in?
Oktoberfest.
Now
Bring it on.
you'll be coming with us whether we're doing it
That's
at
another
home.
Shein order, I'm assuming.
Yes, I have the costume.
You have the
So,
costume from Shein. Okay.
Whether it's at home, whether we go into Oktoberfest, I
course
think
we're
there's
gonna go.
only a place in the
Yes,
city.
we
isn't
will
there?
go and find the October's festive.
I mean, probably every pub is doing Oktoberfest in Oktoberfest.
Yeah, well, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
Now, I've also shown them outside two other things I've just noticed I haven't told you about. First of all, the pool is half empty, not half full.
What are
So-
they doing?
I know, is it like glass half full, glass
Is that
half
on
empty
purpose,
sort of thing?
was it?
I would suggest that they are winterizing it, draining it, letting it just slowly drain away so they can do some maintenance on the pool ready for next season.
That's a very good idea.
So yes, there's no swimming at the moment here in Perth, Western Australia. It's in the
Oh, so
southern
we don't
hemisphere.
get to see
Pretty
what-
cold.
No, but we don't get to sit by the pool and go,
14
"Oh."
degrees outside, cold at the moment.
We've got the back door
Celsius,
open.
yeah.
So I got this on.
And the other thing I noticed too, and I showed them, is the high lift crane is just starting its engines. It's at the gate. It's the cherry
Where
picker.
is
It's
it?
it's in the laneway behind the building. So they're going to be working along all this side of the building, the front part of the building, and the back side of the building as they do some
How
more
do they-
waterproofing.
How do they get to this side?
Well, they reach it as far as they can from that laneway, and when they come around this side, they reach it as far as they can from this side, and hopefully the
That's
twain
difficult,
shall
guys.
meet.
That's difficult. They've got to go over the pool and over the car park.
And if they can't, then they'll abseil from the roof and get the bits in the middle. It's a bit of a challenge once you've got
We're
a building
in
in
the
place.
middle, I think.
Actually, no, we're in the end, sweetie. We're in end
Not
cap.
really, because we've got the pool. Oh no, yeah, I guess you would consider us the end.
We're the end, sweetie. Definitely at the end.
We're on the corner, guys. We have a corner apartment, which is lovely.
Great positioning.
You
We
get
get a nice
better
wrap-around
views.
view of everything, don't we?
We get better
The
views.
hills,
We're lucky.
Perth City, Swan River, Fremantle. We've got it all.
We just are amazed with what we have. Like,
So when it comes to special
Could not
events
be
and things
more
like
grateful.
fireworks, we get to see fireworks in at least 4 different quadrants and locations. Just from my balcony, which is really
it's
convenient for
beautiful,
you.
especially because I don't get to
Get out.
get out and go places. this is really good.
We can wheel you out on your wheelchair onto the patio to be able to see that. Now, if you are new to the channel, Dyan is a person with disability. She's got a chromosomal genetic condition called 22q11.2 Deletion Syndrome. This morning, she has woken up once again with another migraine. So the lights are a bit more subdued. My apologies that it's a bit more of a dull lighting set for this episode. But we're trying to subdue the light.
I'm in agony, guys. But
every day.
I will push through.
Every morning.
Because you guys know I do. But I'm wearing my lovely French nightie.
Ooh la la.
Sorry. I used to wear these growing up because my mum used to sew, but
she was into French fashion, wasn't she?
She used to love her French fashion.
French design.
And this is French design. Look, this is Shein. Long time ago I got this, but
well, you've been a long time Shein shopper, haven't you? And we're not sponsored by Shein, by the way.
Just go to Shein.
As a person with disability, you have found Shein. Originally it was things like Alibaba, Temu, and then Shein. Accessibility, affordability.
If you've got a syndrome that is a fatty to thrive syndrome,
small stature.
You know, for example, when I was 3 and 4, I looked like a 1 and 2 year old. When I was, I don't know, 5 and 6, I looked like maybe 3 and 4 year old. So I've always really looked younger. Like when I had my first child and I turned 20, I looked, and I look at the photos now, I look 12. I look so young.
Skinny,
because
small,
but my face,
EDS as well. EDS or
baby
skin loss.
Face.
It's a smooth skin.
It's the baby
her
face.
mum, her mum's mum, have all looked 20 to 30 years younger than they actually are.
They all have EDS.
It's EDS. It's that collagen, the elasticity of the skin.
Mother and grandmother, you have EDS.
So it does get very confusing. So Dyan's 51, I'm 55. We've been together for 34 plus years.
And basically, I just looked very young, guys.
Yeah. I remember all the nurses coming in to say, come and have a look at this one. She still fits into size what jeans?
That was embarrassing. And I was actually
size 8 jeans.
No, I was actually quite size 10.
Size 10?
That'd be ridiculous.
That's Australian
I'd
size.
just given birth. No, but like my second child, right? I actually found it was quite rude. I was waiting to be picked up, signed out by the doctors, so I thought I'll get my baby looked after while I have a shower, get dressed, because I was still in pajamas. I'd been up every hour because this was my bub that was, for the first month, he kept me up every hour. Yeah, he was one of those, whereas my first bub slept through the night, day one. So it was a different experience. But anyway, here I am, like, just getting ready to take my baby home. I'm so excited. And as I'm like standing there packing my bags on the bed and sorting all through the gifts that he'd been given, you know, he was given all these beautiful clothes and stuff like that. And all these nurses are coming in and chatting to me, then leaving, and changing me and leaving. And one comes in and she admits it, thank goodness, because I was like, what's going on?
What is this revolving door?
Are they suspicious of me or something? Like,
you do attract some suspicious behaviours. Go on, being autistic. Yeah.
And she said, sorry, I just wanted to see the lady who gave birth to her second child, and you're in size 10 jeans, apparently.
Yeah, this is the second child.
I said, and she's looking at me up and down, and I said, yeah. She's like, most women are like this. You're down here already. What's the deal? And I said,
EDS, elasticity.
I said, I don't know, but I did have a chat to her actually, and I said to her, look, with my first child, and look, I'm a young mum, so that I was a young mum, so that always makes it easier, okay? And not to be like, this is just facts. This is not what I'm saying is a social, what you have to go and do. But the biology of us women is we're supposed to have babies from 16 to 25. That is actually biologically is the optimal age for us and for the babies to thrive, right? And be able to just pump them out. You know, we're baby machines, guys. That's what we are. It's nature. It's natural. Look at the animals. But, you know, we had a chat and I said, well, it was interesting because with my first child, I was told, oh my goodness, like you delivered very, very quickly. So he said your stomach muscles are very strong and tight. And I didn't understand why. And with the second pregnancy, I was told the same thing when I was getting, like, because he had to always God, it was painful. When I went for my appointments, I always had to get this measurements of it because I had gestational diabetes.
Try and work up the sizing.
And they had to make sure, because I can't deliver a baby over 8 kilos. 8 kilos. 8 pounds. 8 kilos.
That ain't
8 pounds.
Yeah.
And so they had to keep measuring him to make sure he didn't get over 8 pounds. And like, you know, he said, you know, your stomach muscles are very tight. Like, it's really hard to get in there. And I'm like, yeah, you're hurting me, you know.
Well, 15 plus years of dancing professionally, dance teaching,
but
no
also,
surprise tight abdominal muscles.
No, but also there's a second reason, which must be the 22q looking back.
Yep.
The gastroenterologist that did my first, in my 30s, I had my first colonoscopy. And when I went for my results, we had a big discussion. And I had polyps and all that, and they tested clear. That was great. But he said to me, you have to check every 5 years. And he goes, look, you've got a short torso. And you also go to the gym, which makes it even worse. Your stomach muscles are so tight that that's what actually is, you know, basically making things all squished together. It's like all your organs are squished together, which actually pushes on the bowel, which actually makes the bowel not function very well. So it's not a positive thing having a short torso.
You got a lot of things jammed into that short amount of space. Yeah.
I think that's to do with 22q.
Well, it is. It's all part of the structures that are going on there, particularly in midline development. So, yes, Dyan does have gastroparesis, which is why she's going to the gastroenterologist. Speaking of which, they're still trying. They were trying even yesterday. Another phone call from the hospital. Please come on in. What, right now?
They want more money.
They want to do the procedures. We're on pause at the moment. In fact, I had a conversation, email communication, because I'm actually waiting for the conversation. Email communication back to the WA Health Minister and the Health Department and the hospital saying, everything's on pause. There is a list of about 8 or 9 clinic appointments in the next month that Dyan's meant to be doing. We're not doing
Neurology.
Guys, you're expecting Dyan to go into hospital 2 to 3 times, sometimes a day. You know, it's like 1 week there's like 4 or 5 appointments. The next week's got 4 or 5 appointments.
I need my Tilton Space wheelchair.
Bingo. We actually need that to be able to manage your condition. We need oxygen cylinders to be able to manage the transfer from home to waiting to actually getting into a clinic. And if you're in a clinic and she has an event, which she has multiple events at home, they can't manage an event in the clinic. They have to code blue her and send her down to ED.
Do you know that we are so... Guys, this is why I'm telling you. Hospitals, you might feel safe in them, but please be vigilant in them. Because think about that. Think about what I just said. If I'm sitting in a waiting room and I had a seizure, those people in that section, so say if I'm in
vascular
or gastroenterology or
ophthalmology, dietitian, whatever,
or epidemiology, basically they don't know what to do. None of them. They'd have to call from downstairs a crash team to come up and literally get the board, secure me, stabilise me, take me to the resus room downstairs. They won't have a crash cart.
They won't have all the things needed in the crash cart.
And then the whole appointment would probably be aborted.
So it's BYO. That's why we bring wire and stuff. Because when you're in a car, in a car park, when you're in travel, when you're in a waiting room, none of those things are available. So that's part of the challenge.
To let you know, we're not America, the Mayo Clinic, okay?
We're dumb
hospitals. We're dumb hospitals that... And you know what, the reason why I say that is because it's not that we don't have people out there that are smart doctors. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the setup of the government and the allowance of the budget does not allow the budget to make the hospital as good as what it could be.
Absolutely.
It's just like a nursing post in most sections of the hospital. The only place that it's not a nursing post is ED and probably the cardiac ward and the neurological ward.
Please also understand our perspective just for a moment. We are different than the normal curve of the population. The normal population may only visit a hospital or a clinic once every 10 years if you're lucky. Singular event, and it's nice and smooth in and out. Dyan's experience, I'll just explain to you, in the next month there are over nine clinic appointments and meant to be a procedure which is going to be at least 3, maybe 4 days.
That's not happening.
So 2 weeks out of 4 weeks she needs to be at hospital. even just affordability,
happening.
and almost anywhere between
$21 a
$9
day.
to $21, depending on how long you're there for.
Normally 21.
And if you've got 3 appointments in a day, expected to be 21.
21.
We're going to be spending hundreds of dollars just in car parking
In a week.
alone. So these are some of the challenges and the hurdles. And look, if you're a person who's got
It's not
complex
fair.
conditions, you get it. You're living this
Yeah, but
experience.
guess
You know
what?
what it's like.
As if the government can't put in place,
Mm.
because the fact that we are, like, if you look at, like, in Australia, the low income, and you look at our income, we are well below.
Yeah.
Well below. Okay. At the end of the day, if you're under this
Those girls
girl,
are so chitty chatty this morning. Yeah.
I think that we should get like a what do you call it? Like a pass.
Well, that's what we're actually reaching out to the
Because,
social
look,
worker at the
I
hospital
don't
to
mind
try and
paying
help.
for one once a month or
Yeah.
whatever, but because others have acute situations where they go and see a specialist every now and then,
Yeah.
and it's not a big deal, you just pay the money. But when you're doing this weekly, fortnightly, it's not fair, guys.
I'll also explain a little bit more to it. We can't also just be simply dropped off.
I'm
We
every
can't take
specialist.
an Uber or a taxi, because even taking an Uber or a taxi costs money backwards and forwards, so it's almost like
Yeah, they
negates
don't,
that.
you only get a
But you also don't
you
have
only get a
your
discount
you don't
with
have your
your-
equipment with you in the car that you need to access
Yeah.
sometimes if you're in a hospital. And
Yeah.
sometimes you need to that window of, oh, we finished the clinic, right, we've got to get home, because if we don't get home very soon, you're going to crash, and then I've got to
Seizure or
manage a
whatever.
crash either in a lift, in a car park, whilst driving, pulling over. So these are the challenges that we actually have. I was reading last night, and I was going through a lot more of the research for your condition, 22q11.2 Deletion Syndrome. I was getting a lot more of the
why?
documents. I've sent some stuff off to get printed this morning to add to your extensive library. We've been building a library, and look, if you've got a rare condition, and there's over 7,000 rare conditions in the world.
He should be doing
What's that?
a conference for everybody in Perth
Wow, okay.
with that.
With that, well, there's a library that I've put together over years of
And
research.
you should do that.
Because people don't do that, and I know the doctors
He
don't
used to
do
do
that, unfortunately.
presentation in corporate all the time.
Yeah, I'm used to
Okay, he's
talking
used
to
to
large
it.
audiences, so yeah.
So you should do that.
Maybe we should, because
can
information
save
sharing
lives.
is very important, and
Yeah.
that's the thing, is the specialists, when
And
you're talking
even
about
invite doctors.
well, that's the thing, when you're talking about rare conditions in Australia, there's guidelines that the doctors, your GPs,
Sorry.
should be reaching out to the centre of excellence. Now, that may not be in your local suburb or
might be the
state,
Mayo Clinic.
might not be even nationally, it might be overseas. And I was looking, I actually found the contact details in America of certain specialists who encourage doctors, not just locally, but around the world, to be able to reach out to them
Yeah, I know.
for 22q. And it's a really great resource in that regards, because it
But
is
they don't.
encouraging.
But you know
They
what?
don't do that. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them
No.
drink.
I'm just gonna say the honest truth, because like I said in my video recently that no one's given me any feedback on yet. So basically, no, doctors do better.
Yeah,
Like, pick up the phone. You're lazy. You're lazy.
yeah.
You're after the money. You're after overbooking yourselves, and that's at the expense of sick people. I'm sorry, but that's what you're doing.
It's well
You're
known.
being selfish, and you're putting yourself first above the patient's needs, and you have got contacts you can call to save lives, and you're just not
But it's the
doing
effort
it.
to do that.
So
And that's
I'm
why-
sorry, but it's not about like that. You know, they're too busy and they're too this, too that. No, the end of the day, it's a choice whether you want to save a person's life or not. And by not doing these actions, is putting my life at risk. And saying they don't have time, but yet the time's given to someone else.
You're there busy as well.
I'm
And
the
you know
busy
what?
as well.
Your point about having a conference is a good idea, but I think also what we need to
Yeah.
work towards, we should try to work towards getting a clinic in Australia for adults
That's
with
why I
your
need
condition.
to like sue the shit out of them. It's my dream. So I can start
To
a
fund
22 clinic and fund it.
Yeah, to
and
help
get it
others,
going.
because there's a lot of
There's
people
many
who are
doctors that will
struggling.
want to join in.
And again, I
I'm
keep
sure.
the reiteration is there is a lot of issues between the transference from childhood, and this is said on so many things I was reading last night, all these
Yeah,
medical
where's all
journals.
my children's
From hold on,
childhood
sweetie.
records?
From childhood to adult, that migration, they get lost. There's nothing set up for
There's
the adults, so it's essential for children to get the
Yeah,
treatment, because then that's set
because-
up for the rest of their life. What happens for those patients, as it said in the medical journals, for those patients that only get discovered late in life?
No,
Nothing.
but it doesn't matter if you're late in life. I was born with it.
Exactly.
If they pulled up my childhood records, they'd go, she was struggling a lot with all these areas.
Yeah.
They should be pulling it up.
I agree. Now, changing track, what have we got on today? You've got Mary, your support staff, starting very shortly.
Mary, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah. What's been interesting, and look, we're still waiting on the NDS for the change of circumstances.
Yes, we are.
We've got a limited number of hours of supports. Our support coordinators have been working towards 24 hours
That's
a
our
day,
change of
7 days a
reason.
week.
But you know what? I'm not too worried because
I'm not too
when
worried.
we went to the AAT,
That's the Administration Appeals
the
Tribunal.
lawyer said that, you know, like, are you okay with your hours? Because I noticed they're quite low for you. Obviously, because they look at your needs, and your needs is based on your umbrella diagnosis. But
in that moment, in that
in
time.
that moment, I said, no, I just don't want it, need it. I'm happy with my staffing hours now, as they are. And then when we moved,
But changing
I
location
realised like even more how sick I am.
and the deterioration of your
And
condition.
then the deterioration because of, even though it was a positive stress coming home, it was just still, it's a stress on the body, right?
Yeah.
And so things have even changed since I've got back here, but that's not just even the moving thing. That's just me. I'm just
Absolutely.
getting worse because I'm not getting medical care.
Correct. Now, the reason why I was pointing out the hours done was simply because quite commonly a lot of your episodes, events, and whether it's a seizure,
Happened when
dystonia,
my
Tourette's,
staff
tics,
have gone home.
they've gone home, and it's like, this is the thing, we do need staff around the clock to be able to call
and they
upon.
also watch it like on YouTube.
I know,
and they're
right?
like, oh, I saw you had a seizure yesterday.
Yeah, or you
I'm
had
so
this, or you had that.
sorry. I'm so sorry. And like, I think they're saying that too because they realise they're thinking, oh, why couldn't it be when I'm there to help?
To help, and that's the idea. They want to really
But
help.
it's just
the luck of the draw, and that's why a lot of people who are trying to deal with this either by themselves at home with no supports, or only with an informal support person like their family member.
Yeah, guys,
That's the risk.
you've got to realise, like, I want to honour all of you people out there with Rare because I know you went to Murdoch and you met so many
That's
families.
Murdoch University when you say
with
Murdoch.
Rare.
Yeah. Yep.
And Murdoch University, who studies us because we're rare.
A conference
And
for rare
basically,
genetic conditions. Yeah.
You know, the common discussion was, guys, when you are rare, you have to be your own hospital.
Yeah.
You have to be a doctor, a specialist, a nurse.
A physio,
Like,
a
on
OT,
yourself,
a
and your
speechy.
carer has to be. You've got to be everything for
Yeah.
yourself because you're dealing with, and this is the thing that people don't know about, the sicker you get, the less you're in hospital, the more they teach you how to be at home
Yes,
and manage it.
that's right.
So you're managing life and death situations at home.
No, that's an incredibly important point. So when you
and
do...
this is a worldwide thing.
Just on a very incredibly important point, please, when you have this is context. When you see some of the videos that we share clinically, so the seizures, the dystonias, the respiratory episodes, the heart events, be understanding that we are very informed. We've been doing this for 10 plus years. We've got a situation of all the equipment.
We've spoken to many
I've got a background and
specialists,
experience in this
many
space.
doctors.
Most people, and this is my warning, remember, we're not medical professionals to say, hey,
No.
everybody should do this. My
This is
comment
mine.
is, you should be
My
on the phone to 000
plan,
and getting an
protocol.
ambulance, whereas
Yes.
we have to manage these things at home
Yep.
until a certain threshold does get reached, and then we do call an ambulance.
Oh,
so
of
just
course,
to create that
guys,
context
look.
around that.
At the end of the day, like, you know, we know that I'm only a fraction away
Yep.
of danger zone, call an ambulance.
Yeah,
But the problem is it's not black and white. Like,
no,
you know, you've got to be careful with status epilepticus.
that's the rolling seizures that last longer than 5 minutes
When
straight.
you come in and out of them,
Yep.
you are kind of safe.
Yep.
You are kind of safe. It's when you don't come out at all.
And you're not breaking.
And that
yeah.
means completely not come out for 5 minutes. Okay, not come out back in. You've got to know the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because I've been in status epilepticus in hospital.
Yeah, multiple
And
times.
when I was so-called with it again, which what I mean by that is my carer, who was a nurse as well, she thought that I was more with it than what I was. When I wasn't really. I was like passing out.
Yep.
So when
That's
I
okay.
looked like I was with it, I was like passing out. And she's spoon feeding me food because I was so skinny,
Yeah.
wasn't eating because I was in status epilepticus.
Yep.
multiple times with hospital neglect, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
This was the neglect, the reason why I've got such a good court case, but no one wants to take it on.
Yeah.
But basically, it's like I've had how many status epilepticus?
I can't even bother counting
5
anymore.
or more. And
what, in the one day? You've had it, sweetie.
no, but I'm just saying, like,
in the home
experience of
environment.
no, I'm talking about severe at the point of I should have been in hospital for some of them, and then one of them I was in hospital.
Yeah.
Because that was sort of like when we first had our status epilepticus situations compared to years ago when we didn't have status epilepticus going on.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
Your seizures have evolved, and this is
They've
what we
evolved.
expect with the condition of 22q.
And it's intense.
Very,
status epilepticus.
it's the genes that are affected. See, with
Different.
22q and that micro deletion on the long arm of the 22nd chromosome, missing 30 to 50 genes. Some of
Next,
those
Down
genes
syndrome.
are specifically seizure related, which is why 65% of patients with 22q will have seizure and seizure-like conditions. 5.6 of them will have epilepsy. Dystonia becomes as part of this. You'll have things like your Tourette's, all these other neurological challenges, movement type disorders. They're there. That's what this cluster actually causes.
Why is this medical?
I don't know, but I was trying to get back to Mary because we've got things to do today. Over the weekend.
What are you doing?
Over the weekend.
We were so productive. Did you see our storeroom?
I know, right?
Oh
It's come
my
on.
goodness.
So hopefully it's
impressed.
motivated a few other areas in the home
Sir
to be looked
and my
at.
carer just
Nailed it.
nailed it. They nailed it, man. They are clever, and like it's so functional now, isn't it?
It is very
How
functional.
does it feel going in there when you got to do the morning
Oh, Max is
duties
happy.
and Max is happy?
Max the ragdoll kitten is
Max the cat's happy.
enraptured. It's like, you made this room for me, Daddy? No.
Actually,
This is mine?
Actually, no, I'm kind of making it a hobbit room.
A hobbit room.
I
Okay,
am.
right.
It's going to be a little, like I'm probably going to get those little tunnels.
Hobbitville,
You
yeah.
came out and put one in there.
Little tunnel,
So we
okay.
can play.
Some
and you
ivy.
can, so you can, yes.
Yep.
It's going to be a jungle.
So you can have your second and your third
to hide
breakfast.
all of the rubbish.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
here
speaking of the
comes
little
Anna.
hobbit right now.
Hello, my
I mean,
little
Max.
hobbit.
Hello, Max. How are you, buddy?
Mummy's going to create a little... I got some stuff on Shein, and there's a little sign. It was like $3.76.
What are we doing today? Daddy
And you
has
know
to
what
go
it
to
says? It says,
Bunnings.
Fairies enchant this area.
Oh, I gotta go to Bunnings. Gotta go to Woolworths.
So he's going to go and meet the hobbits and the fairies in
Right.
the storeroom.
Sounds good.
And I'm going to put that on the wall, like just blue tack it.
You're gonna have to
These
rest.
walls you can blue tack.
You're
easy.
gonna have to rest up,
But
though, aren't you?
basically, like it just looks amazing.
It does look amazing. The house is
I'm
looking
sorry,
good.
but I'm just
It's
a
very
absolute
functional.
interior design.
You're in your
freak.
element. You're enjoying
You
it.
know, like everything in my house, every cupboard, every drawer, like everything has to be clean and neat and tidy.
Yep.
Even my balcony has to be
Absolutely.
perfect.
Well, I've got to get underneath the
So-
sink today, so we're gonna look at the cupboards underneath the sink and see what's
yeah,
going
that
on
needs
there
to be
in
everything
that
needs to be
space.
pulled out and cleaned
Everything's
again
about
because
efficiency.
that's another zone of like
Yeah.
we all go in there.
Yeah.
It's pretty much you
Just
and
as
the
much as doing
carers.
things like the medical trolley for crash carts or the medical cupboard, all
Yes.
these, everything's about trying
But
to improve
basically, you and the carers go in
functionality
and out of that
efficiency.
cupboard
Especially got
daily.
so many staff rotating now.
You
What do you think, Max?
you and the carers go in there daily, multiple times, in and out,
Yeah.
and to the dishwasher and to the sink.
Mhm.
It's messy. It's just one of those messy areas. So just needs everything pulled out and cleaned.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
It's pretty easy.
So that's on the
really.
to-do list. I've got to get some spack filler from Bunnings. I've got to get a
We're
couple
getting
items,
low on
grocery
spack
items
filler.
from
Well, we've got to paint
Woolworths.
that little mark on the storeroom because my walls
Dyan's OCD was off the
need
charts.
to be perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
When I've left rentals in the past,
Mhm.
like this one, I'm not. This is my forever home.
Yep.
But
That's what
basically,
you've been told.
like
That's your
when
forever
I've
home.
left rentals in the past, they've always said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not
He's
patting
talking.
you. I'm talking to the people. Okay, I know you don't understand, but they know you too. You're on the internet.
You want to wave and say hello to
Do you want
everybody
to say hi?
over there? Oh, they're up there, buddy.
Hi. It's look like we look like one of those vloggers that's, oh, you can't see my baby, you can't see their face.
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
step
can't see
away from her. Jeez.
There's so many vloggers that do that. It's so annoying. It's like, put your baby down and vlog when the baby's asleep.
Exactly. You have
But
plenty of time to do it.
basically,
You've forgotten what you were saying.
what's
The
this
cupboard
one?
underneath the sink. We're going to do all that to make it all efficient and functional. And just the overall improvements to the house. We're
No, I
doing
was
better.
gonna say something.
I can't remember. I don't know what's in your mind. I'm sorry. The little white Max has distracted you.
But yes, I'm going to also make, like I said, the storage room a little hob room for him to playing, like a little maze. No, I want people to walk in there and go, oh, it's like an enchanted room. Put little fairies with, you know, on our boxes of things and little. Yeah. I don't know, like it'd be cool.
It could be cool. You noticed just then that Dyan had forgotten. Just remember that Dyan has got a neurological condition, but just as much as the aphasia, which is the speaking, where she might have difficulty with stuttering, slurring, word finding. Her mind can leave very quickly the room. It's actually like a goldfish, 3-second memory, which is why we're cautious of not. And I talk. That's part of our challenge as YouTubers, doing conversational videos.
Forget.
It's one of those things where I do need to let Dyan talk and talk and talk. It's her processing.
Because I can't do it.
You can't retain,
in
store
psychology,
memory.
They call it turn taking.
Yep.
And yes, I know I'm bad with it because of ADHD. That's an ADHD problem. It definitely is. But I learnt behaviourally through cognitive behaviour. I've done CBT to help myself with this kind of thing. I've done DBT. Not that it really suits us with autism, really. But guys, like, and be careful the courses you go to, because some of them have like personality disorders that they can be. I'm not saying everyone with a personality disorder is an asshole, but a lot of them can be quite difficult people. And when you're autistic, you're vulnerable.
Yep.
And they prey on us, and they pick on us, and they socially manipulate us. And they think it's funny because
that's the vulnerability of autism.
People with personality disorders, look, it's sad. They have a lot of problems due to some reason. Obviously, something in their past has made their brain like click to be dysfunctional like that. But the therapies can help them if they want help.
Yeah.
But when I did the courses, I did notice that, and I will warn you, you will notice less than quarter of the people sitting there will be autistics. That shouldn't really be there, but there's little bits in CBT and little bits in DBT that help us. But the most of it doesn't really help us.
I think it was Professor Tony Atwood actually said that CBT doesn't actually work specifically for autistics. It's the learning style and the way it takes on board.
Style of
Things
CBT.
need to be modified specific for the autistic
CBT,
learning process. No, it does, absolutely. Well, a bit like CBT for Tourette's, which is again cognitive behavioural intervention for Tourette's.
Who cares about that? I, with all of my qualifications, I'm actually going to start writing up some syllabuses.
Brilliant idea.
And that is, I was going to do it for dyslexia, because did you know there's no actual known syllabus that has a empirical data significance supporting it? Doesn't exist. There is no actual way. They are fumbling. Look, I'm not saying this is all done like with absolute effort. They are trying to help these kids with dyslexia learn to read and write. But I'm just saying, please just understand that dyslexia is a big deal.
Still very
unknown. If your child has it, they are struggling to teach them because they don't know how, and they're trying to. The scientists are trying to. But instead of doing that, I was going to do that. But instead of that, I'm actually thinking of doing some kind of CBT type thing. Okay. So none of that,
You've got the experience in the training. Dyan studied psychology obviously at university. She's got a obviously diplomas and degrees in social work as well. So you've got a lot of background and experience in the space and the lived experience.
I'm not going to focus on, the therapy side of stuff because I hate therapy.
The part that's helpful.
I hate therapy. I actually think therapy is actually, this is my opinion, personally just makes you stay in victimhood. Just don't do therapy. That's my opinion, but don't consult with your medical practitioners and follow their advice.
Insert disclaimer.
And if you have any thoughts that might be dangerous, go and see a practitioner.
Seek help immediately.
But I'm just saying, as a person who's, I've had a tough life. I've had a life that people would say, gee, that must have really messed you up. And it's like, well, no. I'm actually very stable. I'm actually very normal, except for I am autistic. Some people might not say I'm normal, but I am normal.
But you're autistic, which is a good difference.
I'm a normal autistic.
It's not a bad difference.
Basically, my functioning of life is fine. I can manage high stress, I'm not going to say that like it doesn't affect me, because then I'd be a sociopath. But I manage it. I don't need therapy to manage it. I don't need to speak on the phone to friends for hours to manage it. I don't need to speak to you for hours to manage it.
No, it's actually about acceptance, and that's acceptance from other people. If you actually understand that why you've got a diagnosis, just like whether you've got the Tourette's, whether you've got the autism, which affects things like auditory processing, executive functioning, all these sort of things, or turn taking. Once you understand that that's that person can't change. You can't just come out of your skin and go, I'm no longer autistic today, or oh, I've stopped ticking because I want to. Can't do that.
That's why that video I did about being in the middle. You've got to understand that when I'm doing behaviours that you notice, it's just like, gosh, she just keeps doing that, and I keep trying to get her to stop doing that. She's old enough to know better, or should know that that's how it should be. You're forgetting my mental age.
Yep.
You're forgetting that, yes, I might not be severe global developmentally delayed to the point where I'm a toddler or a young child, but think about the lowest end of my age, 18. 18-year-olds, we're still, what's going on?
Yeah, new to the world.
What?
Just got your wings.
Can you explain that to me?
Learning.
Can you break that down to simple, stupid? Because I've got an ego that's very intact. You can tell me, geez, Dyan, you're stupid. I'll explain it to you. You can do that to me. You can explain it to me. But not you guys, because, well, some of you guys, but through email, because some of you guys, you know me, we chat. But that's because of you guys have expertise, some of you, out there in dealing with people. And I can feel that you're one of those people that's always helped people. So, but normally I seek that from my carers and from you, is explanations on social stories, explanations on
social stories
understanding.
are what we use to break
sometimes,
something down.
Matt doesn't, say to me, that's what I was saying, about doctors and how they treat me and all that is so bad, because they have my reports from my neuropsych. They know that they're meant to speak to me like I'm an 18-year-old who they need to come to that level and not expect a 51-year-old level, because that is abuse.
That's putting you in a situation
and that's why
your abilities.
Sir speaks to me in a way where some of you might think, oh my gosh, like he's infantilizing her. No, he's doing his best not to do that, because that's what you should never do. He's coming to my level of understanding and going, right, this is what's going on, or this is what needs to be done because of this. He's explaining and social storying it to my age group mentally.
And checking for understanding, slowing things down.
For understanding.
Sometimes having to say things in different ways, because your learning sometimes has to be shown in different manners for that rationale to actually come through.
So not everyone is like someone that's obvious, where you know they're an adult but they're acting like a child. They are obvious, and they get, well, I hope they get respect from everybody, because that's what they need, them and their families. But for me, because I'm in the middle and I am mentally an adult but I'm still in that adolescence, so think about that. That's also why I'm like, but that I don't understand why life has to be like that, because I'm still in an adolescent mindset.
Yep.
And that's tough.
And that won't evolve, and that won't change. It makes no difference how hard she
really
wants to.
hard.
That's where she's stuck at that level of capability and comprehension.
So I need
people
grace. I need people to come to that level. And that's the sad thing, is I think that society, and that's what I'm trying to start the learning of. And that's why the national card in Australia is good, because when they look me up on the barcode, they'll see
that's
that
for
my
brain
mental
injuries
age
and autistics,
is 18 to 21. So they need to approach me, and when they're having conversations with me, they need to approach me as if I'm that mental age and that sort of type of immaturity level where, okay, she's going to need that assistance to that level. And that's very important.
I think it's
very important.
And I think you'll work in the space if you can create some guidelines,
so distracting.
A book, or whatever.
So
I think it will help many other people. Let's wrap up today's session, because you've got a lovely day ahead of you. I know you've still got a headache, which we need to bring under control. We need to make sure that your electrolytes are up. Dyan's been very unwell every day. 38 degrees Celsius body temperatures every day. She's in febrile every day. This is why she's had 2 neurological events only yesterday. Almost every other day there's been some sort of neurological event. We're trying to keep things stable. So Dyan's going to be resting a little bit while I'm running around doing other jobs. But we still have to do it. Meanwhile, these two can cuddle for their morning, and we wish you to have a lovely morning ahead. Big thumbs up of encouragement. If you've got comments, questions, ideas and suggestions, leave them below. We love hearing from everybody in the comments. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Please share.
Okay,
Let's put that together. Cross those legs. Don't forget to share our channel, and hopefully we can reach some other people as well. Bye guys.
Bye guys.